welcome. It's a fantastic evening. Why? Because there's a really, really big game of cricket coming up. Lots of matches have been played. First round, then Super 12, so many teams. But now it's down to the final four. That's right. Semi-final 1 today, semi-final 2 tomorrow, and then the big final on the 14th, which is Children's Day. That's right. I'm going to be double happy because there's a cricket match and it's my day. All right, but we're talking about the cricket match that's happening today. It's the first semi-final, and it's being played between England and New Zealand.
England are an incredibly good side.
So every multi-nation tournament, they are there, they put their hand up and say, we're here to play a certain brand of cricket, and that is to win every match that we play.
Without Ben Stokes and Jofra have been so good in this tournament.
They keep speaking about New Zealand, they punch above their weight. This is what they do. They find ways to just come out of a certain hole that they dug.
You think efficiency, you think New Zealand. The question is, can they bring this efficient game in a semi-final to try and go past England?
Both have had a lovely roadmap to this tournament semi-final and very worthy semi-final.
That's right. Ewan Morgan and Kane Williamson, old friends, old foes. Geez, white ball, knockout game. It's going to be exciting. And it's going to be super exciting on Cricbuzz Live because with me, I've got Ajay Jadeja and Dinesh Karthik. We're going to start with two of the best finishers in the business. First, the big brother from Goa. Hello, big brother. How are you?
Very well, very well. Good evening to all. Good evening, DK. It's a pleasure to be with you, and I'm looking forward to spending this evening with DK and learn so much about how these guys play cricket.
Absolutely. But he wants to learn from you. Yes, DK, you want to learn from one of the best finishers that you've seen growing up.
Oh, definitely. I think, I keep saying this whenever people ask me one of my favorite matches has to be the 96 quarterfinal India versus Pakistan. I think it was a great game of cricket, and the man on screen here completely set it on fire. He kind of changed the dynamics of how middle order hitting was, and I really liked that. And easily one of my favorite knocks, and definitely one of my favorite India-Pakistan games. And that knock gave me so much happiness and in many ways kickstarted my journey of a middle order batsman.
I have to tell you though, big brother, I have to tell you, it's not like just because he's seen you here, he's saying these things. Yeah. It's not that. I actually, because I knew you'd question it. You're a conspiracy theorist. You like questioning things, which is great. I love that about you. But I have proof for you. I have proof that DK has said this to you even when you were not listening. That's right. He was saying nice things about you behind your back. Have a listen.
One of the reasons why I became a middle order batsman was I enjoyed watching Ajay Jadeja take on Pakistan in that game. There was Ataur Rahman, there was Wakai Yunus. Just take down this. He scored 45 of 25 with a strike rate of 180. That will be etched in my memory forever.
Okay, so etched in his memory forever. Would you like to add to his memories? Would you like to put a little icing on it and some cherries?
Yeah, I mean, it almost looks like you forced him. He's in the same shirt, so I think he just recorded what he...
No, it's not the same shirt. It looks like the same shirt. The only thing common is that it's colorful. And if you looked inside DK's cupboard, it looks like rainbows and unicorns have been making babies because they're all just colorful shirts.
I love it. I loved him when even he was in England. It was so refreshing to see people enjoy what they like wearing rather than just being in the same, suit or same gray, black, blue. You had, it was freshness. It was like, English summer was just blooming last year and year again. I mean, it's nice to see somebody enjoying that flowery color. You remember GK in West Indies? We had those dresses that we had to wear.
That's
DK
right.
would fit in perfectly with us when we go to West Indies, right?
Exactly. I think those were DK shirts. DK, you would fit into the carnival. I cannot even tell you. Can we just make a trip? Like, forget about the cricket match for a minute. If you can just plan travel here, this is more important. Should we go to the Trini Carnival? Come on. You're connected to the team and all as well. I'm sure you can get us like some VIP passes and stuff, right?
The franchisee I obviously play for have a team there. And, we have CEO, Mr. Venki Mysore, and he was telling me his experience of the carnival. And I must admit, it sounded fabulous. I have a feeling you guys, have you been to that?
No, we haven't been to the carnival, but I've heard, can I tell you something? Not that we're showing off here, but we've heard stories of the carnival from King Viv Richards and the master Sunny Gavaskar. His story is maybe slightly better than yours.
I'm sure.
Slightly better. But of course, Ajay, if you could just kind of, relive the memory for DK and for all our viewers as well.
It's been so long. I think what happened, in that period was like once off. It had one off or one game before that. But what you see that is every day now. I mean, you watch an IPL game. Which game don't you see somebody smashing some bowler in the world? The only difference that I think probably is, from then and now, is that, when you played a one-day game, the last 8, 10, 12 overs, you had two bowlers that you had to deal with. It was just same guys that you had to go through those 7, 8, 9 overs, generally. Now you have that period for only, say, 3 overs or 4 overs because, in a 2020 game, generally you've got the bowlers coming back for 1 over or 2 overs. So that probably is the only difference now. And the other thing is, these guys are just unbelievable. I mean, when I watch them play in today's time, it's like that was like a special day or something special happened in the world that nobody, expected it to happen. And that's when it's special. But now that you see it every day, people don't appreciate these guys as much as that saying, because these guys do it every second day. We did it once in a lifetime and everybody thinks, oh, wow, what a knock. This happened, that happened. But it just shows you, it's the time, Maruti was good enough for us. Now these guys, even a Ferrari doesn't work for them.
But I got to tell you, when it comes to finishing, of course, your assault against Pakistan in the 96 World Cup, that's remembered. But sitting with us is a guy whose assault in the final of the Nidas Trophy is the most watched video online. Still is, right? DK, what's the number? Still climbing, yeah?
Let's not go there. I think he's being very, very modest. That was, you always have to give a lot of value for trendsetters. And, at that stage, you got to understand, even when we play T20 now, the one thing that we are not challenged as middle order batters a lot of the times is the fact that the ball doesn't reverse. That game, the ball was reversing. The wicket was scuffed up. It's one thing hitting an 18 over Kookaburra ball, and another thing completely different, hitting a 34, 38, 42 over ball where it swings inside. And these are guys who bowl 135, 140 with proper reverse swing skill. They wait for that ball. A lot of the times they manage to do it very early. They have the skill to do it. And in case nature does help sometimes, and it does happen naturally when it is supposed to happen, they have good skill to bring the ball back in. And, that knock was a very special knock because, technically also, clearing the left leg was a taboo then. They always wanted you to get to the pitch of the ball, allow the ball to come to you, play straight down. This is the kind of they will say, and the coaches will venerate you if you do anything different. But middle order batting at that stage to go and hit it with this kind of a flat batted swing, which Josh Butler will be seeing today, hopefully do something special for England. That flat batted swing to hit it over mid wicket, clearing the left leg out. These are all very special things that knock taught me. And that became in fad later, where from there on people started taking that left leg out. Coaches started teaching the young boys to get the left leg out so that you could get maximum power in the two highest scoring areas, which is long on and deep mid wicket. You hit your best sixes there always. So, technically so many things. I don't know why he's not admitting to it, but these are very special things that over a period of time, middle order batsmen have learned. And, that innings in many ways kick-started that ability to, clear your left leg, which became a norm for the middle order batsman later on. And he was very special. That knock and that match, obviously, it had a lot of iconic moments. But one such, one of those innings, which was in many ways a game changer and a trendsetter for a lot of the middle order batsmen who took on batting in the middle very seriously.
Why? Just take it. No, just take the compliment. He's serious about it.
No, I'm taking it with both hands. Both hands. No, not complaining at all. But I must confess, I was talking a little earlier off air, and I said, actually people only remember those last 4 or 5 balls. But it was all Anil Kumble who started it all. You need that momentum to start. We were always, defending at that stage. As he says, the bowling in the game was different. And kids today won't even understand what that game was because it was played differently. But you need at any stage where you keep hearing this word momentum or the tide turning around. So, it is Anil Kumble who actually turned the tide around. He was in that over, he was the one who started it. Till then, it was only survival. We weren't looking like these guys where to hit. And I'm very impressed. how players think which is a big scoring area, what is right, what is wrong. We didn't think, DK. We in those days were partying away, and we came and we did what we were doing. But Anil was the guy who actually really started it. He hit that first boundary, and that is where the belief comes in to you that this is how we need to keep going. And then it was history. Actually, the game before was even quicker, but it is the moment that has been captured. Like your moment, I think, is a much tougher moment, because when you're chasing, you have no choice. You have to do that no matter where the ball falls. So that is why your video is being the most watched video, and it's rightly so.
Excellent. Well, there's memories on both. There's obviously memories from that match against Pakistan in the 96 World Cup. And there's memories from the Nidas Trophy. Tell us the memories you like. Hashtag Cricbuzz Live on Twitter. Just jump into the conversation. We're talking about shorter boundaries, longer boundaries. In Abu Dhabi today, there's not going to be a shorter side because they're using the central strip. New Zealand has won the toss and decided to bowl. DK, does that surprise you at all?
Does that surprise anyone in the world right now to bowl second when you win the toss? I think it's a very, very straightforward decision. Of all the decisions Kane Williamson has had to make through this year, that must have been one of the simplest, I guess. Yeah. Middle pitch tells me that it's a great pitch. I played on that. It's a pretty flat deck, and it's a proper 50-50 game. Yes, dew will come in, but I still feel that the fact that England are batting first will make it a very, very interesting game. The only thing that they need to watch out for is that opening spell, after which they can go all guns blazing.
Yeah, Dave, of course, England has made the change. They had to. It's a forced change because Jason Roy is out, hobbled off with problem in his calf, which means that young Uncle Sam comes in, Sam Billings. Sam Billings is coming in. It's been confirmed that Johnny Bairstow will be opening the batting. Would you like to see Liam Livingstone at 4 and Sam Billings finishing, or the way that is listed over here, Ajay bhai?
I personally, think the least changes that you make in the whole system, because England has a pretty good style of playing. They're pretty sure what they want to do. And when you start a World Cup with Johnny Bairstow, he could have opened then as well. I mean, Jason Roy, Johnny Bairstow, Livingston, and Butler. I mean, these are as good as you get. So you could have done it whichever way you wanted. So if you have an approach that you've gone into the World Cup, I believe that it's best to tinker the least. Livingston looked good the other day. I would have put Livingston at the top and kept going as what Jason Roy would do. And because Sam Billings, you keep him behind. DK would now find out the way I think. I'm a little crazy man who sits here and looks at things. Is that Sam Billings may not even get a knock. So you might not even have to use him, because as it is, you started that game or started the World Cup. You didn't have him in the 11. He hasn't played. The others have played. They're still in the contention. So when I would, if it's a forced change, that in this case that it is, you'd want that forced change to be in a place where, if things all go right, you may not even need him. So I would probably go with Sam Billings coming at, later. Livingston look good. I would put him right at the top and not mess with Johnny Bairstow. Let him be where he is. I know he hasn't scored runs. He's had a bad run. But, he's a good enough player. Everybody can't score in every tournament. So I would have gone that way. But it's interesting to know that England has thought differently.
He was brilliant in the previous game, especially those sixes. DK, I mean, that 1-6, you played in Sharjah, you hit a few sixes there as well. That 112 meters, I think, it's the longest one in this tournament. Yeah, that reached, I think that reached halfway to Dubai, didn't it? The way that Liam Livingstone hit it.
They must have rolled over that Sheikh Zayed highway for sure. It's probably still rolling as we speak. But I think the batting order will be very fluid. That's how all teams are going.
Pull it back up. We'll just pull it up while you're speaking. Yeah.
So for me, how I look at it, and I'm pretty sure Morgan will go. Johnny Bairstow and Butler to open. David Malan will more often than not slot in at 3, and they will wait. If it is till the 10th, 12th over, Sam Billings will walk in at 4. There's a good chance he'll walk in at 4, and then will come Morgan, Livingston, Moeen Ali. But if there is an early wicket, then definitely Sam Billings will walk in at 4. If the wickets don't fall till the 10th over or the 11th over, then you will see a Livingston coming in after the 12th over. How they play these days is phases. They don't want to expose a Livingston too early, only because obviously the amount of damage that he could do at the back end of the innings is way more than what he would do in the front end of the innings. So they want to keep those guys, well packed, ready with their arsenal, fully to go at the back end of the innings and launch themselves when required. So that's how they'll be thinking. And Moeen Ali is good at it as well. So Moeen Ali would have come in at 3 if they're chasing a big total. But now that question doesn't arise because you're batting first. So it will be Malan at 3 unless a wicket doesn't fall in the first 10 overs, then you can see a massive change in the batting order. I could see a Moeen coming at 3, those kind of changes. But for the moment, they'll start steady, 2 quick wickets. Sam Billings will walk in. Nothing happens to the 12th over. Like Ajay Bhai said, I do think Livingston will walk in after the 12th over between Livingston and Morgan.
Actually, DK, I want to talk to you about that because you've played with Morgan so much as the captain, and there's, you've got Lehman Brothers, not Lehman Brothers, just Lehman, the one brother, who's his data analyst, right, and feeds him with a lot of information and stuff. But Morgan also makes a lot of real-time instinctive changes based on game situation.
Yeah. See, Nathan Lehman comes in massively to play when they're bowling. When they're batting, he wouldn't interfere much. I think when batting, it'll be more to do with each one will know their role. As I said, Billings will walk in. If there's a quick wicket, he will do exactly what a Steve Smith does for Australia. If not, they'll pack him to the back of the back order. They'll send, a Livingston, a Morgan will come, a Moeen Ali will come, and then maybe a Billings will come if the situation arises. That's how they'll play it. So at this point of time, it will be horses for courses, which is early wickets, Billings and Malan go in. Otherwise, don't bother. Just wait your turn. You'll come at the back end of the innings. It is very straight. It is, instead of me telling them, it'll be Morgan telling them. That's how much clarity they will have in that England dressing room.
Yeah, but there are 2 fans over here who are sitting with you of big fans of Moeen Ali at number 3. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Moeen Ali at number 3 gives you that, little spark that you need, because I find him one of those guys who walks in and, first ball or second ball, he looks as comfortable as somebody's been there for a while. But the problem with him is he's like a spark. I've yet to see something that goes on and like a Luddy that goes on, because I think he's an ideal. I mean, CSK used him ideally. Master MS Dhoni knows, looks at players and figures out who's useful for what. So I think Moeen Ali is a guy that, CSK used brilliantly, in the sense that you send him in, no matter what kind of pressure, what the situation is, he's going to keep going. And even if he's in a commanding position, he's not one of those who will, say, "Acha, chalo, now I'll see this through." He keeps going at one pace. So it's very important. Players like this, in especially quarterfinals, semis, and finals, where there's so much riding, and some players get, look at the game and say, "Look, I need to change my game," or what. Moeen Ali is the man to send in whenever there is pressure or you want something to change. Send him in. He's too good a player. I mean, quality-wise, he's brilliant. I mean, but so he's not going to change. So when you're in trouble, send Moeen Ali in, Ali, and then he'll go there and enjoy himself and give you that little impetus that you need 2-3 overs.
Spark.
Because in a 20-over game, I've realized that the pressure on a batting team doesn't last more than 4 overs at the most. Whether you lose 2 wickets in the first 2 overs, then it changes at over number 6. You lose 4 wickets in over number 7. By 13, 14 over, again the game changes anyway. Everybody starts playing it differently. So those 3-4 overs is where the game changes in 2020. So those 3-4 overs, Moeen Ali is an ideal man to be used.
We're talking about Moeen Ali and CSK. Well, he spoke about it as well. He spoke about how important the stint with the champion team Chennai has been for his development. He says, "I just feel like I'm playing really well, and I think the captain sees that and he wants to use it as much as he can." He's talking about Morgan, of course, but he says CSK had given me responsibility at number 3, given me the confidence that you're going to play and have a big role with the team. I had some great chats with MS, also with Stephen Fleming, the players, and with Mike Hussey. I just feel like my game got better and better as I was going on, and that augurs really well for England. Let's have a look at the New Zealand team. Who have they gone in with? Of course, they lost a key person as well. That was Lockie Ferguson. That was earlier in the tournament. And after that, they have been playing with this 11. So no changes in this 11. No surprise as well. They're going to be bowling first, of course. And they've got the 5 full bowlers. Of course, they started the tournament. They had Tim Seifert. Then they changed him and got Adam Milne in. So that was I really want to get Ajay's opinion on that, because you love that, don't you? 5 full bowlers, as you always say. You always say 5 full bowlers.
5 full bowlers, especially when you have a captain who knows how to use their resources as well. If you have a captain who just goes and implements a plan that was made 2 days ago, number over this, number over that, then it doesn't make a difference. But when you have 5 pure bowlers, captain like Williamson or a Morgan would, make use of them so well that he would never let the game go away, no matter what the stage is. And the best part about New Zealand that I like is that look at those 5 bowlers. All of them are different. Each one, bowls differently, different paces, different spin, different approaches. and with that captain. I love this team. This has been my team in this World Cup. So I'm hoping that they have a good day. They've started with luck. They won the toss. They're fielding, and those 5 bowlers will all be used today. And with the pressure that they can apply with the captain that they have.
We know who you are supporting today because your kurta is black with a little bit of brown, because brown used to be their old color as well, right? The Kiwis, the coffee is also black. Oh, you've got a fern. Is that a fern you have there?
Yeah,
the lights.
Lights.
Yeah, there you go. All right, we know. Are you also eating kiwi? Is that what you're doing also? Just say yes. Yeah, there you go. That's avocado, but we call it kiwi. The screens are very small right now. But DK, I really want to address one thing. Just this idea of calling New Zealand underdogs. I've had it. I'm filing a petition with the United Nations. I'm done with it. I cannot hear it anymore. This got to stop.
It's ridiculous. I mean, to be honest, I don't think they're underdogs. If at all anything, I think Pakistan are underdogs. I think they've played fabulous cricket. They walked in as underdogs. Nobody expected them to do the way they've done. They've absolutely set this tournament alight. They've been the most good-looking team to watch. And, they are underdog. New Zealand, come on. Every tournament, the 2015 World Cup, they're finalists. 2019 World Cup, they're finalists. 20 World Test Championship, they're finalists. Underdogs can't be finalists every tournament that's happening within a multi-nation tournament. I think that tag should definitely go on. Papua New Guinea, they are underdogs. Scotland, they are underdogs. But New Zealand at this stage.
Papua New Guinea is sitting watching the show saying, what did we do? Yeah, but in terms of this team, DK, just about team composition, do you think that they would have been tempted at all looking at England's bowling, England's batting, their options? Do you think they would have been tempted at all maybe to play an additional batter today? No? Cool.
Good captains make peace with what they don't have. And there is not a team in the world that is perfect. You're always going to have some hole here and there. And good captains make peace with that, are aware of that. And if they lose because of that vulnerability, they're completely okay with it. But they will trust their ability to know what their team's strength is and push them in that direction and always hope for the best. And if you take any team for that matter, you as a captain, as a leader, you need to be aware of what your vulnerabilities are. And the greatest of captains, MS Dhoni, Owen Morgan, and Kane Williamson will exactly know which direction he wants to move the ship in. In the first couple of games, he played the extra batter, but then he decided, you know what, New Zealand's strength is bowling. Let's get the best bowling attack out there and let's blow away teams. And that's what they have done over a period of time. They're able to defend totals. And if they bowl first, they try to, obviously keep the team batting against them as minimum as possible. And I like that as a captain. You need to be very sure. Sometimes you're blessed with a few all-rounders, and if so be the case, great. But, you're not going to get that opportunity every time. You'd rather have your most confident 11 out there. If it is your bowling, trust that and go ahead with it.
Yeah, they've got great bowling. Look at Trent Bolt. He's set this Super 12 on fire. He's got a lot of wickets. DK, you've played against him. What makes him so difficult?
He's the first ball that you play, he'll come steaming in and bowl the fastest ball, which most of them don't even do for a start. They'll all warm up for a couple of balls.
No looseness.
And he from ball one, he can get you out for a start. I mean, that itself as an opener, you're ready. You're with your eyes open. You need to pour water into your eyes and walk in knowing, geez, that first ball could be a good ball. You're ready. He'll swing in, and there's a good chance if you miss it, it's LBW or bowl. And that's where the game starts for you. If there's no swing, you'll obviously take the ball out with the angle. But more often than not, in the first over, he gets some swing. And he's an absolute wicket taker. The first couple of overs that he bowls, he'd rather go for 25 runs but pick 3 wickets. He has that as his mindset. And people love that about him. And that's why he's one of the most sought-after T20 bowlers, because he's a wicket taker up front. And if he's able to get those wickets, that is the best way to put brakes on any team. And he looks to do that for you. He's very good with his skill set. He's far more, menacing at the top than at the bottom. He's really improved his game at the bottom end of the innings, where he bowls a lot of scutters and yorkers. But his strength is the ability to move the ball in the air and do whatever he does. And if he's able to bowl at an economy of 5.2 within the power play, nothing like it. It just goes to show, even though he's picked up wickets at the death overs, it tells me that he's really improved his bowling in that space, so to say. But he's one of those bowlers who have the skill to pick up wickets at any stage, and he's easily, arguably, one of the better bowlers in the world going around in this format. And the record speaks for itself. To have an economy of 6 overall is fabulous, and any captain's dream.
Yeah, it's the best way, right? Either you can contain or you take wickets, and then the run rate gets contained anyway, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, best way to contain is take wickets, and he's looking for wickets. And I think DK explained it brilliantly that he's got that variety. And what I find the best thing about him is that he has the variety, but you don't see it on every day. He understands the conditions much better than other people probably. The last game was it against forget the last game,
Afghanistan.
Afghanistan. So when he came in and bowled there was totally different from how he would have bowled against India. The same 12 balls in the start that he bowls, he's got the ability to, bowl quick, bring that ball in, slower one, everything. But there are days that he uses them differently. So he's not predictable. And that's something that really works in this format of the game because, there's so much planning, pre-planning in the games now that, there's plans that we're going to do this, we're going to do that. So when you have a bowler like that against you, the plan doesn't work that well because he's come and changed it. He might have 4 slow ones someday. And then traditionally, if he can get that ball to come back, then he doesn't try anything. He just bowls the 12 balls and that's the best ball to bowl. But when that's not happening, he's still not predictable because, there are days then he'll bowl slow one. The other day against Afghanistan was quick and short. So he has the ability, but he uses them, smartly as well.
Also, just a couple of things on him. One, obviously is his skill set. If you do see, one of his greatest skill set is to push himself on big matches. The last time Mumbai Indians, when they told, when they in the IPL, when it happened, not this season, the previous season against Delhi Capitals, their finalists, 3 times they played, 3 times he was man of the game match. That goes to show that, against the big teams, Delhi Capitals, obviously a solid batting order. Every time he rocked up against them, rocked the middle order out, top order out of the game. And then, they won it pretty easy. They made it look very easy. Who was the man of the match? Trent bowled. Against India, they're all very left-arm medium pacer. They send Rohit at 3. They send somebody else opening. All of that. Who gets you the wickets? Trent bowled. So he's up for a big game. You need to like that about him. And that's one of the greatness about this New Zealand team. And also one more thing, I've seen him train. There's this workout he does. I have to admit, there's this one workout that he does. He puts a cone and sprints for 10 seconds, goes and puts the cone on the other side, takes a break for 30 seconds and does that, and maintains that for about, I think, 10 into 10 reps or 12 reps, 2 sets like that. Just seeing that is tiring. I can promise you that's one of the toughest workouts I've ever seen anybody do. Proper sprint. He's arguably one of the fittest cricketers in the world. And that's why he's such a good fast bowler.
Oh, I'm telling you, the T in his name is Thunder. It's not Trent, it's Thunder. He's the Thunderbolt. And if he's going to get help anywhere, good thing they're not playing in Sharjah. DK, quick question. If there's a little bit of help up front for the bowlers, is it more in Dubai or Abu Dhabi?
Abu Dhabi. Oh, sorry, Dubai. Sorry, Dubai. I got that wrong. Dubai. Definitely okay. Dubai is the tougher wicket for the batters and Abu Dhabi is the better wicket for batters.
All right. So England will know this and England will want to obviously negate the effect of the Thunderbolts right up front. England, of course, are batting first because Kane Williamson did win the toss. All right. We've got a joy factor question as well. Joy is not here, but he sends in the questions. And the days he's not here, he sends in very long questions, as he has done today as well. This cricketer scored a half century against England in Birmingham in 1985 and then got a 50 in his next ODI 6 years later. Name the cricketer. We're just going to keep the question on for just a second because these are difficult to kind of decode. So just figure it out. I'm not going to read it again. That's enough reading for me. But there you go. Edgbaston, right? Let's see if you have the edge. Hashtag Cricbuzz Live if you know the answer. DK's smile tells me that maybe he knows this one as well. You've been cracking a few, bro. You've been cracking a few of those, of these little scepters that he keeps sending. You've cracked a few. You know this one? No?
To be honest, no.
No?
I laugh because 1984 was when I was born. So that was the part where I laughed.
We will make no comment about that. Yeah, brother, no. You and me are making no comment.
I'm not from Afghanistan. I'm from India. I'm really born in 1985.
Yeah, no. We are not making any age comment, the two of us, about ourselves.
No. We're just looking at ourselves and saying, this boy is born in 1985. And what were we up to, GK, in 1985? Let's not go there.
That's right. I was already trying to get into nightclubs by that time.
I couldn't get it because I was always single.
Ah, look at you. We know your footwork on the crease and on the dance floor. That's right, the party starter. But today, the party starter will be the one who gets the score prediction right because that's what's more important. Listen, World Cups come and go, multi-tournaments come and go. This game is more important than all other games. Our guessing game. What are the scores so far? Has anybody tallied, made a leaderboard? We'll get to that in a second. England batting first. Come on. Who goes first? Alphabetically? Let's go alphabetically.
Let's follow him. He
Big
has
brother.
the right information these days, how they think and how they play.
All right. So
I'm
we'll go
stuck.
with D first.
I've been stuck on one number ever. So go, DK.
I'll tell you.
172.
And yours is 183? He's 172.
172.
And you're 183 as usual?
Yeah, stick to it. The winning score is 183. There is not a single game that a team has lost if they've scored 183.
But I thought you wanted New Zealand to win.
Yeah, so that's a winning score. And I think
Okay,
England,
so
yeah.
I know what you're doing.
Look, I know there's due. I know everything. I'm an old man. I still think from old point of view, when it gets to these tough situations, batting first, and I don't know if DK thinks like that, batting first in the last 5-7 overs in the first inning, even if you're 7 down, you will get more runs. But in the second innings, even if you're 3 down and you need whatever runs, it gets tougher. So from my point of view, I've always been a person who believes bigger games, get in there, bat first. But in this case, the problem is both the captains are very smart and shrewd. So it wouldn't probably have made a difference. They're not the ones who give you anything easy, whether you bat first or second. So maybe that's why due and everything's working for me. So even 183 will win.
I'll tell you something that I think he's hedging his bets. That's what you're doing. If it's 183, even if New Zealand doesn't win, you'll win this competition. That's what's most important. And if it's lesser, then New Zealand wins, then you're happy anyway. So then it doesn't matter if you've lost this game. I see what you've done. You're going to end this night as a winner either way. Nice.
That's the way to go.
Nicely done. All right. I'm going to park myself at 164. So we've got it all covered. 164, 172, 183. That is about the 16th time that you have guessed 183 on Cricbuzz Live in Hindi or in English, because as he believes, a broken watch can also be right twice a day.
DK, DK, you help me out here. Sitting here, can you say what kind of play is going to happen in Sharjah in the first innings?
That's why it's a
Unless
guess.
you watch a
That's why it's a
game.
guess. Yeah, that's why it's a guess. That's why it's a guessing game. I like your dart, brother. I like your dart. All right, our party's over. Is over here. Over here. Over here. But the match party's on. That's right. So I hope you're all on Cricbuzz Plus, because the match party is happening there. So that started at 7:15. There's a reason I didn't tell you about it, because then you would have gone there. But it's because they have free drinks. DK is there, of course, playing bartender today. DK, you're going to be there. You're gonna mix me up an old fashioned. Little martini, James Bond style.
That is a cosmopolitan place. That
it's a cosmopolitan place, is it? All right. I think that's a little too softy for me. So maybe I won't show up for this party. But we're going to be back on Combox at the end of 10 overs to see how England is going on their batting effort. And then, of course, as soon as England is done and has scored 164, we'll be back on Cricbuzz Live. Just is. What happened? Big thank you to DK and AJ, and I'm GK, and you were watching Cricbuzz Live.